Yo, what's up guys, Ghost here, welcome back to another video. So with the next Battlefield game looming, hopefully coming out later this year, but perhaps towards the beginning of 2026 even, a lot of people have started to wonder just what is going to be in the next game, what needs to be included, features from past Battlefield games that have been missing so far. And if anybody's been over to the r/Battlefield subreddit, you'll know what I'm talking about here. A lot of people started making posts here saying the next Battlefield game should have X, Y, or Z, whatever their favorite feature was, and surprise, surprise, things have gotten a little bit out of control there, and people have taken the joke a bit too far. Here somebody says, should the next Battlefield have my cat, Goobert? I definitely think it should. He looks like an absolute chonkers. Here's another one. Should the next field have battles? Should the next battle include a field? And obviously, judging by this one, some people have just kind of had enough of this trend at the moment. But in all seriousness, I wanted to go back and visit what I consider to be peak Battlefield. And for me, that is Battlefield 4. Now, there's a lot of great Battlefield games out there, but BF4 always has a special place in my heart. I think I started my YouTube channel on Battlefield 3, and then shortly afterwards Battlefield 4 came out, and that's really, for those of you who are maybe you're like super old school and you've been around here for many years, will remember that sort of where I started this channel. And so that game is really always going to be held in high regard by myself as one of, if not maybe even the best Battlefields that has ever been made. And I really hope that DICE are doing this as well, that they're not just going to Battlefield 4, but all of the past games and looking through them, as I'm going to do in this video, to find what was the magic of that particular game, what really made it shine and brought some of that Battlefield formula that we have all come to know and love, I suppose, that's been lost somewhere along the way. I don't know how it quite happened, but ever since Battlefield 5, things have definitely started to go downhill, and that fun sandbox experience has become more and more diluted, it feels like, as time has gone on. So without a shadow of a doubt, I think one of the best things about Battlefield 4 is the vehicle play, and especially when it comes to the jets. Some other things, though, that are really obvious to me is just look at the size of the minimap. I think a lot of those great changes to the UI came in with Battlefield 4 when they did the CTE, the Community Test Environment, which hopefully is kind of going to be what Battlefield Labs is like for the next game. We're going to be able to improve the game together, and a lot of these great changes for BF4 came in through that Community Test Environment, which led to all of these awesome UI changes where you could make the minimap much larger, you could make it transparent, etc., and just really set it up the way that you wanted it. It's kind of funny how you go back and play a game and then you realize how different it is to Battlefield 2042 and a lot of the more modern BF games. Like, all of the tanks in this game, here we're in one of the IFVs, you have no delay on the turret really at all. Like, there is some, I suppose. It's not the same movement as my mouse hand when I'm playing as infantry, but you can pretty much just turn like almost on a dime. You can see there's like a little bit there, and it may not necessarily be the most balanced thing, I don't know, because a lot of great tankers out there absolutely dominated with these vehicles, but it just feels so much better. And I think that's a good way of summing up all of the vehicles in this game. They just feel better, more agile. You know, they're just more responsive. They just do exactly what you want them to do. Man, that music as well. The music on the menus there, it really just gets you going. It gets you ready for battle, doesn't it? Like, there's so many different tunes on here. That one is actually special, I think, to this particular map. And I wanted to show you guys this because this one was actually a map that has been made with the community. So what happened is they basically decided that they really needed to fix everything that was wrong with Battlefield 4, and they made this initiative called the Community Test Environment, which some of you may have heard of, and they continued that into other Battlefield games as well. For whatever reason, they did away with it with Battlefield 2042, but I digress. Anyway, you could join these servers, and they were test servers, right, where they were iterating on the game, trying to make it better, and real players could jump in there and try it for themselves to see if those improvements were just that, improvements or not, and if they were accepted by the community, they would then go into the main game. And the reason I want to show you this map is because once the game had been patched up, this is actually a map that was created by DICE in collaboration with the community. The way I remember it was, they put out 3 different concepts, and we could choose between what sort of a map we wanted. And it seems we all voted for a jungle map. So this one is called Operation Outbreak. And, you know, for a 12-year-old game at the moment, I think it looks pretty beautiful. I actually really like this map. I think it's somewhat underrated as well. There aren't too many servers at the moment. In fact, I couldn't find one with any players on it, which is why I'm in an empty one right now. But it was just such an interesting time in Battlefield 4's lifespan, because not only did we get to choose this map, but they started without any textures on here, right? So everything was grey box. And then they did a test. They threw it up on the community test environment servers, and we could jump in there, play around, you know, and before they started texturing things and polishing the map, we could make changes to flag layouts, we could make changes to building placements and that sort of stuff. Of course, we weren't like getting our hands on the tool, but basically as a community we were able to vote on what we wanted the map to be like and what we didn't want it to be like. And the fact that this wasn't in Battlefield 2042, I think, was to massive detriment of that game. It was a big loss, because that's exactly the kind of thing that Battlefield 2042 needed to help repair the game. Not saying that DICE didn't do a good job there. I definitely think they did, you know, do whatever they could with the resources that they had. But it would have been so much more cool for the community to be involved in that. And that's why I'm hoping so much that with the next game, Battlefield Labs is essentially like CTE, Community Test Environment 2.0. And the community is going to be involved. And they're going to be giving us lots of surveys, letting us make some decisions on the game along with them. And hopefully it's going to lead to an even better Battlefield title. Look at this. I've just found this, guys. I remembered this. Smutsiger Serlin's Jungle Party. So a lot of you will be familiar with David Serlin now. I believe he is the lead producer on the next Battlefield game, and back in Battlefield 4, I can't quite remember his title, but he was kind of the guy who led the charge in the community test environment, and you can see he's put his little mark on this map here. So I think there's some sort of an Easter egg in here, right, where you can... Oh wait, there's music. Yeah, man. Bit of jazz. I guess David likes jazz. Maybe I'll ask him over on Twitter, but that's a nice little touch, for example, here. I really miss that stuff where the developers kind of, you know, left their own little mark on some of the maps. Physics and stuff in this game, not really as good, maybe, as they are these days. These bottles, for whatever reason, aren't breaking. There was definitely breakable glass in Battlefield 4, so not really sure why that's happening there, but... I guess because they're David Serlin's beer bottles, they've just been made unbreakable. He's not having any of that. I mean, the fridge has been emptied here. There's also no tactical sprint in this game. This is like before the time of tactical sprint, where Call of Duty kind of made that a staple in their games, and then eventually Battlefield picked up on it. So it's really weird, because I keep double tapping shift to put on the tac sprint, but of course nothing happens. So movement in this game is definitely much slower. You really have to kind of stop moving and then ADS around corners like this, whereas I think in a lot of Battlefield games now, Battlefield 2042 being a prime example, you kind of just like jump out around the corner. You can see if I do that, nothing really happens, right? If I like just look at my sight, if I jump and aim, my red dot sight and my weapon model is just going all over the place. And on that same note here, just look at the size of my reticle, just look at the size of the red dot sight. This is customizable in the options, again, thanks to the CTE and a lot of the UI changes that were made possible for the game. And yeah, I like to have mine pretty large, just like the minimap as well, down in the bottom left corner there. You can make it super big. Maybe it's a little bit too big, actually, because I've gotten so used to Battlefield 2042 size of minimap. But yeah, just a lot of that stuff, you know, allowing the player to customize the game they want it to be. I think this went for console players too, was a massive boon to this game. So whilst we're just here on the server browser, just take a look at the sheer amount of maps. I mean, first of all, let's just appreciate the fact that there is a server browser, but just look at how many maps were made here, right? So we had, I think, 4 premium DLC packs here that came out. Some of these are remakes. You can see Caspian Border is from Battlefield 3, Dragon Valley, I believe, is from Battlefield 2, Firestorm's from BF3 as well. So I am quite a fan of remakes, actually. I do like to kind of get that nostalgic hit there. Big fan of that. Here we've got Operation Outbreak, of course, I've already explained that one, but then there were also a couple of like night maps that were put in here. So there's two Zavod 311s, I think that's because one of them is like a night map version of the game. So, you know, even once the DLCs were finished and they basically stopped support for the game, they still went the extra mile with the CTE and spent their time doing whatever they could there. Game modes, there was, I would say, far too many game modes in Battlefield 4. I don't really think we need all of these game modes, and you'll be pretty lucky if you manage to find most of these available to play. Like, I think they experimented with a lot of game modes, but this has obviously gone to reveal that the Battlefield community don't really need so many. There are a few game modes here that have really shone through. Domination, of course, is basically just like small-scale conquest. That does well. Gunmaster is one that's come back again and again. But yeah, if they need to take anything away from this, I'd say with the next Battlefield game, they need more maps, more than what we see in Battlefield 2042, and don't waste so much time making small little quirky game modes. I don't know, maybe the game modes don't take as much development time, but as a community, I just don't really think we need that many. Like, we can't really spread ourselves too thinly. Some of them are okay, maybe as limited time game modes so you can jump in and have some fun, but then after that, they just kind of die off anyway. Another epic map here, Rogue Transmission. This one is basically based on, like, the GoldenEye map, I like to call it, because this dish was featured in one of the James Bond films, GoldenEye, for anybody who's watched that one. I believe it's in, is it Portugal? It's somewhere in maybe somewhere in South America. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments where this was. It's actually crashed down now, like, in real life. And there is a Levolution event where you can destroy these cables holding it up there, and the entire dish crashes down, so DICE and Battlefield actually kind of predicted that happening, and then it happened in real life, which was somewhat hilarious. Not for the people who are actually responsible for sustaining it and supporting it, though, I guess. But, I don't know, kind of funny to us. Yeah, one of the massive changes in this game I'm noticing is just the time to traverse across the land. It's so much longer. You've got to take things way slower. Got you. There's no hit indication sounds either, or kill indication sounds. Like, you don't realize how used you get to that in games until you don't have it anymore, and you're like, wait, what is happening? No! Oh, I got him! We got him, boys! Look how long it takes you to go up the stairs as well. Like, your movement speed visually slows down when you go up a staircase. Like, as if your soldier is actually jogging up each step one at a time. Oh, there's a guy there too. Sorry, boys. Party's over. So yeah, this game, way slower paced than I remember it being. I think I've just gotten used to other shooters these days with all of the running and the jumping and the sliding and the going prone, dolphin diving, all of that stuff. You know, this game doesn't really have any of that. I mean, it has the... I suppose you can do the whole Vuzu, Zuzu stuff, but I don't really even know how to do that. Was that a sniper up there? Oh, no. Alright, we've got the A10 again, guys. I swear, guys, if there's not an A10 in the next Battlefield game after me having no A10 for 3 games in a row... Sorry, 4 games in a row. I'm not going to be a happy chappy. I forgot as well, you can't even see when you're flying this thing. Like, when your flares are off cooldown, or your ECM, as I have here. Like, you just don't know. You have to actually go in the cockpit to see when ECM is off cooldown. Trying to hit that guy with the JDAM. Boom. Got him. Oh, I do love the sound of the JDAMs, though. That massive boom there echoes around the entire battlefield. So cool. Okay, we've got transport coming in here. Oh, stealth jet's coming. That's not great. And he just rammed us. I suppose I rammed him as well, though, so you guys blame whoever you think is to blame. You can see my little emblem there from my platoon that I made way back in the day that's on the tank. That was a really cool feature of this game. You could create a platoon with your own emblem and then put it on all of your stuff. And anybody who was in there could use it as well. So if you saw a squad of players, they all had the same emblems. You kind of know that they were all together. So that was a really nice feature, actually. One of the best community features that Battlefield's had. Unfortunately, a lot of people just kind of abused it to make offensive stuff, though, so I think that's why they ultimately had to do away with it. Oh, the tanks actually, conversely to the infantry play, the tanks are so fast. Oh no, couldn't quite get in. There was another tank there on the left side, so that was unfortunate. Yeah, you can see what I'm talking about there if you look at this guy's emblem. That's why we can't have nice things anymore, guys. Here we are on the old F-35, definitely one of the best jets in the game. Certainly the best stealth jet in the game. So I'm going to leave that one here for today, guys. I just thought it would be interesting to come back to this game and revisit it to see, you know, what was good about Battlefield 4, what from this game can they bring into the next Battlefield game, just as a bit of a reminder. But maybe also what wasn't great about it, what's kind of aged badly. You know, I think definitely stuff like the hit indicators not being there is something that we really need in Battlefield games now. And there are a lot of other quality of life changes that are, of course, coming with other titles as well. So, yeah, it's not all roses, but I think they could certainly learn a thing or two from BF4. As we completely bamboozle that pilot there. Wait a minute, can we actually take off here? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh. Come on. Yes! How did we survive that? You can actually enter hover mode in these things. I've forgotten how to do it. I think it's... Is it maybe Z? Can we get him after that? Oh no! Oh no! Oh, the Allied attack jet slammed into me and we both died. How embarrassing. What an embarrassing end to a video. Right, guys, that's it. I'm done. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe for more Battlefield and I'll see you guys in the next one.